everyone, it's Classic Tabletop RPG Friday, so let's get to it. Welcome to RPG Elite, where we put the RP back into RPG, giving you tools, and we give you tips, we give you tutorials, we give you talk, we give you whatever you need to make your RPG experience more immersive and more enjoyable. Thanks for joining me, my fellow elites. I got to give you guys a shout out first, and if this is your first time coming to the channel, welcome aboard. Today, it's going to be a short intro for the video because we're going to get right into what we've been doing with our Gamma World series. But before we do that, I want to turn your attention to the community tab. I know I've been talking about that quite a bit. I really like it over there. I want to kind of build community here on the channel. And I have to give an answer actually for something that I posted earlier this week. I said I was going to give the answer in today's video. So I posted this image right here and only had a few people on this one. So I don't know if it was just the image or, you know, people are falling off or I don't know what's going on, but I only had a few people on this, but I did get the right answer. I think I had 2 people who gave me the right game. One person that had the full Monty gave me the game and the resource. This is from DC Heroes, first edition from Mayfair Games. And this is the module Prometheus, or is it Project Prometheus? Project Prometheus. I was getting ready to say Prometheus Project. You know, tomato, right? You know, there you go. So this week coming up on Tuesday, we're going to have a new poll. So I hope that you guys go over there and check it out. And if you are interested in being a part of what we have done before, because we haven't really been doing a whole lot, we've only got a couple posts there. I think there's 3 total. So you can still be a part of that. Go down in the description below, boop, 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 and hit that link for the community tab on RPG Elite. Now today we're going to be continuing our Gamma World series, as I said, mini-series in a series, Cryptic Alliances. Part 2, we're going to be going into 5 more Cryptic Alliances. Now, if you didn't see part 1, it's pretty important that you see part 1 because you might be a little lost. I think you could probably watch the video without watching the first part, but number 1, you missed the first 4. Number 2, some of the things that I'm describing in these descriptions for each Cryptic Alliance, you might not know what's going on unless you watch the first video, or at least the first part of the first video where I explain those things. So if you want to, you can click on the link in the description below to go to that video, and I'm doing that video particularly, not the playlist, so you can go to that video. But today we're going to continue with 5 more of these enigmatic, mysterious, cryptic alliances that you can add to your campaign if you're thinking about running Gamma World. From 1st to 4th edition, classic RPG, baby. Let's get this party started.
The Red Death seeks the extinction of all life and the cessation of all mechanical activity that isn't its. Members live as nomads, ravaging the areas through which they pass. They kill everyone in those areas except small children, whom they kidnap and raise as the next generation of the Red Death. The Order is especially devoted to destroying healers, androids, and robots. Members may be hired but not recruited. As hirelings, they are very untrustworthy and they have to be watched like hawks. They are Tech 2 in both 2nd and 3rd edition. Their secret sign is cleaning a dagger with a red cloth followed by thrusting the dagger through the cloth. Red Death meeting places are often indicated by a stylized skull and crossbones. Now, this particular Cryptic Alliance is not included in 4th edition. Some of the 2nd and 3rd edition benefits are that members receive double status points for beating NPCs and triple status points for destroying robots. In general, Red Death bases consist of Tech Level 2 nomadic camps, and only Tech Level 1 and 2 equipment may be borrowed at them. The purists are devoted to preserving the purity of the human race by stamping out all humanoids. They don't consider mutated animals as impure, only inferior. Their preferred weapons are Tech Level 2 swords and lances, but 90% will also carry weapons of the ancients, usually energy weapons like lasers and blasters. Members wear armor and prefer to fight mounted, usually on a Brutorts. Mercenary companies of 20 to 200 purists will often hire out to fight in expeditions that offer a chance of killing humanoids, but will be reluctant to shed the blood of other pure strain humans. They often mistake androids for pure strain humans and sometimes unknowingly let them join the organization. They are Tech 2 in 2nd edition and Tech 3 in 3rd edition. Purists use a red square emblazoned on a shield, armor, or clothes as identification, and they also use an imbalanced scale of justice on their shields to demonstrate their unyielding commitment to racial purity. Traditionalist knights zealously seek out mutants to kill. They believe their purpose in life is to wipe out the altered human population with prejudice, or humanoids. Reformed knights believe mutants will eventually die out because of their inherent weaknesses. They tend to enslave mutants rather than kill them. The 2nd edition benefits for members include getting double status points for beating an NPC party containing one or more humanoids. However, they lose 50 status points from those they currently have available each time their party negotiates with an NPC party that includes one or more humanoids. Now, in 3rd edition, everything is the same except that they lose 20 status points each time their party negotiates with an NPC party that has a humanoid. In 4th edition, they will not allow you to be a part of the Knights of Genetic Purity, so there are no benefits, nor are there any restrictions. This small religious cult worships the radiant divine glory of the atom. This worship often includes exposure to radioactivity and biogenetic drugs in celebration of the boon of mutation released by the atom. Radioactivist doctrine considers defects arising from this practice to signify a lack of faith. NPC members have triple the normal number of mutations, and they will not normally allow themselves to be recruited or hired. They are Tech 2 in both 2nd and 3rd edition, and they have no official secret sign. However, many of them can be found wearing amulets shaped like stylized atoms. Traditional radioactivists want to establish shrines in currently radioactive areas where the devoted can visit. They would not bathe the entire Earth in radioactivity, but would rather maintain existing areas. They want to go public with this creed. Reformed are on the opposite end of the spectrum. They want to increase the amount of radiation in the world. They engage in a crude form of fortune telling by capturing innocent creatures and subjecting them to radiation. If the creature dies, it is a bad omen. If it lives, it's a good omen. And if it mutates, then favor is truly shining upon the issue. The 2nd edition benefits include members receiving 25 status points for each radiation check they must make. They get 300 status points for each non-defect mutation arising out of a radiation check, and they lose 300 status points from those they currently have available for each defect they gain from a radiation check. In addition, members receive 5 times the normal status points for turning in a mutation bomb or genetic booster. Now, 3rd edition has the same as 2nd edition, except that they get 100 status points for each non-defect mutation from a radiation check and lose 100 status points for each defect they gain. 4th edition characters must keep their membership in the Cryptic Alliance a secret. It is also encouraged, though not mandatory, to expose themselves to radiation whenever the opportunity arises. In other words, these cats is crazy. The character gets 100 XP bonus times their level if at least once during the adventure they voluntarily expose themselves to sufficient radiation to do them harm. They get double that amount if they get a mutation from it, even a defect. This organization of largely humanoid or pure strain human types is devoted to restoring the world's lost civilization. They are dedicated opponents of the Red Death, the followers of the Voice, the Archivists, the Supremacists, Seekers, and the Created. Members encountered outside their base have a 70% chance of having 1d4 robot companions and servants. Restorationists can't be hired, but many may be recruited to fight their bitter enemies or take action that will hasten the restoration. They are Tech 3 in both 2nd and 3rd edition. They have no official secret sign in 2nd and 3rd edition. Each widely separated restorationist group uses its own code consisting of quotations from ancient books. Rendezvous are often marked by a dove symbol. However, in 4th edition, they do have an official symbol, and it is the rising sun over the ocean, which they bear proudly on flags, but they rarely display it on their clothes or armor. Traditionalist restorationists hold that only complete dominance of an area will secure it so that it can be restored. The technology of the ancients must be used to control the populace if any progress is to be made. Reformed members believe that society must be restored by peaceable means, even advocating making treaties with such groups as the Seekers and the Knights of Genetic Purity. 2nd edition benefits are that members get double status points for turning in artifacts or beating NPC parties that include members of the Friends of Entropy, followers of the Voice, Archivists, Seekers, Supremacists, or the Created, and 3rd edition has the same benefits. In 4th edition, restorationists are not allowed to destroy information from before the social wars or shadow years or cataclysm, depending on which edition that you're using or which background that you're using for your world. Books, tapes, computer files, all of that must be preserved at all costs, even if they fall into evil hands. Members get a 100 XP bonus times their current level once in an adventure if they retrieve information about the ancients and successfully turn it over to a restorationist base. Of course, this should be major information and not small bits of innocuous trivia. Any artifacts that a restorationist purchases from the Alliance are at a 10% discount. The character can ask the Alliance to repair an artifact for a price once per adventure. If the character can prove the repair of the artifact will further the goals of the Alliance, the restorationist will repair it for free. Also, once per adventure, the Alliance will analyze an artifact for members at no cost. Seekers are dedicated to promoting cooperation between pure strain humans and humanoids so as to build a world order based on a new, natural way of life. They hate ancient technology, except Domars, which they will have in abundance, and seek to destroy artifacts. They are bitter foes of the majority of alliances, but are cordial with members of the Healers, Ranks of the Fit, Radioactivists, and the Brotherhood of Thought. Members can be hired but seldom recruited, and they will only use artifacts in an emergency. So think Luddite on steroids. They are Tech 2 in both 2nd and 3rd edition. And the favorite seeker recognition signal consists of scanning the horizon using both hands to shade the eyes. Meeting places are always marked with a stalk of grain symbol. Traditional seekers have a lengthy and detailed list of permitted and forbidden machines. They actively seek to destroy any machines that have been declared forbidden. Reformed seekers are willing to consider forms of technology as valid. They have an elaborate testing system to determine whether a machine is too advanced for their society. No matter if you're traditional or reformed, in general, anything that runs on electricity or is otherwise powered is taboo. 2nd edition benefits and restrictions are that members get no status points for turning in artifacts and lose 50 status points from those they currently have available each time they get an artifact as part of their share of the party's loot and don't destroy it. They get 100 status points times the recruit's rank for recruiting a character into their organization and get double the normal status points for beating a party that includes one or more members of a Nemesis Alliance. Their Nemesis Alliances include the Restorationists, Knights of Genetic Purity, the Iron Society, Supremacist, Followers of the Voice, Archivist, and the Created. In addition, they get triple status points for destroying robots. The 3rd edition benefits are the same as 2nd edition, except that they only get 10 status points times the recruit's rank for recruiting a character into their organization. In 4th edition, this is another Cryptic Alliance that they will not allow PCs to be a part of.
Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gamma World, if you've played it before, but if you play the adventure that they include, you are a part of the Restorationist Cryptic Alliance if you play those characters that are in the game. And that's Ra and Ren and Roll and Sheesh. What weird names. And it's weirder. You know what's even weirder? It's weirder. I remembered those names off the top of my head. I'm Geek City over here, y'all. Geek City. Well, that'll do it for Cryptic Alliances Part 2 here at RPG Elite. Part 3 coming up next week, which we will probably end the mini-series within a series on our classic tabletop RPG Fridays next Tuesday. Oh, I know. I got something special. Not next Tuesday, it's the Tuesday after. So let me just go ahead and let me wait on that one. I'm going to sit on that one for a little bit. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, folks. Pray you have a wonderful weekend. A brother has just got to
Exit stage left
because he's got to make more videos. So until next time, God willing, you know how we do it here. So say it with me. Happy gaming.